Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the second segment of TA with the QC. So today I want to go into a little bit about how I use the dashboard in the morning and how that kind of drives my technical analysis and what stocks I'm looking at. Today I've pre-selected some stocks that I want to look at, but I do want to include a short dashboard demo for you guys since the dashboard will be launching on Cyber Monday, December 22nd. And so what I usually do is I come in here and I run these two scripts to update the dashboard, and that's where you have your most active, your upgrades and downgrades there, your price targets, your news data. There's another news feed there, your earnings calendar, your economic events for the day, and your IPO calendar. So the first place I'm looking is I want to see what is moving on either side of the market, what has significant movement. And generally for me, I'm looking for things that are in my index here, like RGTI, ELAB, QUBT, those are down. So how I treat those SMCI, for example, is I'm going to be looking for a potential bullish entry because I'm thinking maybe this is just a retrace or a correction for a bullish entry. If not, it may or may not be a bearish opportunity for me. And the same on this side. This has moved 102%. It has moved phenomenally, but because of the share price, you guys can't trade options. So what I did yesterday was I went and I just bought 200 shares because I felt like I can make 50 or 100% on that money over the week, right? So very easy stuff. And then I just scroll through the updates, upgrades, and downgrades to see if there is any significant data here. And what I love about it is you have got news from all of those places that you guys are going to get news in the morning. So I'll just show you. Let's see. And I want to keep these to under 10 minutes. So I'm talking kind of fast. But let's see what let's look at Lemonade. That's also the street. What some of the news data sources we have here are. Okay, these are like, I'm picking up the street. Let's look at the actual news feed and see what we got. Dell, Oxygen, Crowd. Let's see what's being said about Crowd. I think this is one that I considered doing TA on this morning, but I don't think it made the cut. But I just want to show you guys what the dashboard is capable of and what it was really designed to do. It was designed to simplify my research in the morning, just by pulling everything into one place. So again, I'm not going to 5 different news sites and earnings whispers and all of those different places to get the data that I need in the morning. So we got CDRO. Really nothing that jumps out at me. Let's see. Today is an economic event heavy day. So this stuff will be in your newsletter because most of the stuff from the newsletter is pulled directly from the dashboard. I don't use this nearly as much as I should. But here's the commitment of traders data. So we can kind of get an idea of what direction the market is moving in from this tab. We can see that utilities is moving today. And so when I'm looking for stocks, one of the things I'll be considering is it in the utilities sector? And then this stuff is not so much stuff that I look at, but I know that some other traders value it. So I don't look at it every morning, but there are some key days of the week and of the month where that's more significant. If you're into crypto, this tab, the fundamentals tab, has your top 15 crypto down here. And all of these indexes that allow you to draw an idea of what the market overall might be doing this morning. And so when I want to update that, which I do in the morning, I just come in and it sorts it by the change percentage. And so what I want to see, the quickest way for me to use this data is to see what the VIX is doing and what the SPY is doing, because you know that you can glean some quick insights from that. So SPY is slightly up, VIX is slightly down. And then I can see what the top moving cryptos are. So ETH is moving. BTC is moving a little bit. Where's my, okay, XRP is up 1.41% and $1.40. Okay, I think we've established a new support at $1.30 on that. This is my index. I started to run this and then I stopped it. And so none of the symbols are there, but I update that with my Alchemia index button there. This is one that I love. I'm going to erase these and kind of start over just so that you guys can see what it does, what it's capable of, and why the dashboard is such a valuable tool. Come up here to your Alchemy menu and just click Update Alerts, and it will start to produce alerts, or I say print alerts for you in real time. And so just that quick, about 5 to 10 seconds, we got 64 fresh alerts for the day. I don't know why that's populating NA, but anyway, the developer is working on it. He should be done all of the glitches and all of the fixes by Friday in preparation for our launch on Monday. So let's get into these charts really quickly. Move this out of the way, and I have flagged the ones that I want to look at. And so it looks like I took a Badu trade 2 days ago. So we'll start with that one. And as always, I am starting from the highest time frame. Start with a fib. So we'll go to the weekly. We'll draw a quick fib. Drop down to the daily. So we got our fib. We see that on the weekly, it is oversold. It kind of just reached oversold status. Drop down to the daily. First thing that I see, because I do top to bottom, top down analysis and top to bottom TA. So stochastic is forming a double bottom. Divergence. Yep, we got some slight divergence. And so I talked about that yesterday, but I'm not sure if you guys were able to see it. But what divergence is when your price action or your chart candles are moving from bottom to bottom or top to top in a different or diverging direction from your oscillator. And so the oscillator from this bottom to this bottom is relatively flat or slightly upward sloping, whereas this on the price, the same point to point area on the price is sloping down. So that's a little bit of divergence. If you wanted to use closer points, you would just move and just make sure that you're using the same points. So sloping up, sloping down. We've got some bullish divergence. On this chart, my first area of resistance is we're above my 886, which means that should now act as support. My resistance will be my 14 and my 21. And we could say they're at 85.36 and 87.40. So somewhere between those lies my resistance. And I'm going to drop down to the next time frame to get a closer view. Let's get rid of these. And this is really quick because it really is that quick. You will see that your stochastic top to bottom TA. Your stochastic is in fully bullish condition on the 4-hour chart and is approaching being overbought. But again, we are above on this chart. Blow it up. We're above that 14 and that 21 moving average. So we have on the 4-hour chart now turned the moving averages into support. And so this is, for me, a strong area of support. And let's see. And that goes back, this area has been acting as support and resistance as far back as August. And I'm sure that if we go back further, so actually, it probably was established in 2020. Let's go back to our 4-hour, make sure we haven't missed anything. So targets for me, now that I'm above my 0.886, just an easy target would be my 0.79 on my next fib level, which just happens to have a confluence or a correlation with my 200 moving average. So you would be looking for a strike price if you're an options trader as close to at the money as possible, but somewhere between these two fib levels, 85.50 and 91.92-ish, depending on what your expiration date is. So then we drop down to the next lowest level, and we see that much like I expected, and it was in the video a day or two ago, that might have been yesterday that I made that video, that I was expecting this to potentially act as resistance, the 200 moving average on the hourly. So let's get closer view of the candlestick action here and what price action is doing. Went up, tried to take it out, got rejected, created kind of a support here, and now it is going to attempt to take out that 200 again. If it is able to do that, which I fully expect that it will, haven't looked at any of the news yet. Okay, that's positive. That's pretty positive. I haven't looked at any of the news yet, but I fully expect it to take this out. So what you can do here too is, if you don't want to play this range from 85 to 91, you can come in here and you can pick a high to low and draw a new fib. And I will change the color so that we can distinguish the two fibs. And 886 is always a significant level, 7971. So I would expect that at the very least, we go to 85.14, but that depending on how much volume there is in the market today, we could approach these two targets, 85, 86, 88 in the short term. Very, very, very quick TA, right? And so I am, let me just check, looking for my phone. I'm already in this trade. I've been in it for 2 days now. So you can see that was from down here. And I'm going to try to do these videos for you at least 3 times a week, but I'm pretty much done. Let's just take a peek at the 30-hour moving averages are completely lined up bullish now. We are above all of them. We're using them as support. We have confluence at the 618 level. And so I expect this to be a profitable trade today. And depending on what my expiration date is, I may or may not exit, but that's a decision that I will make during trading hours. So it seems like I have OKL0, but I probably want to do this one. This is an interesting stock to me because of what it does. I don't necessarily. So they do some government contracts for like local governments. They produce like police type robots. And so that is different than, oh no, that's KSCP. iRobot is the one that produces the consumer robots. And so I kind of like KSCP better because they have that government potential. And, you know, anybody that gets government contracts has some staying power. But in the iRobot consumer market, that's like your automated vacuum cleaners and things of that nature. So I don't know how I feel about this stock, but the chart looked like one that was good for this morning's analysis. And so we can kind of see what's going on here. Top to bottom, we have just come out of oversold conditions back in September. And now it looks to me like we're trying to create a double bottom here. And that is really all I want to see on the weekly time frame. Going to drop down to the daily, reset the chart, try to find an appropriate place to draw a fib. Not really seeing it, so what we'll do is we will use this bearish, we'll use this bearish area here. Draw our fib from top to bottom, and we're pretty much done there. It's these moving averages are in completely bearish conditions, yellow, red, green, if you use my same settings. But you can see we got a triple bottom on our stochastic, and it is starting to point sharply up. So these are the kinds of things that attract me to charts and attract me to potential trades. So let's now look at the 4-hour. We'll reset it, see what we got going on here. Interesting. Let's move it up a little bit. It's a very, very interesting structure because you've got what to me looks like an obvious triple bottom or inverse head and shoulders. And then our moving averages, you can probably see them better than I can see them. But our 14 has crossed over our 21, which is indicating short-term bullish confirmation, because now these two short-term moving averages are in bullish conditions, and our next challenge is taking out this 200 moving average. So easy target would be the 200 moving average, which is at 784. So if you got like a $7, I'm not going to trade this because I just have never traded iRobot, but it was a good chart, good structure for you guys to look at. So we started with the daily, we dropped down to the 4. We see that we have a triple bottom here, and we're creating higher highs now, even forming a little baby trend. A little baby trend line there. I really don't use these. And so just showing you what's going on. So you would be looking for it to ride that up. I'll get rid of it because, again, I don't use those. You can see that it was rejected at the 200 2 days ago, came back down, found support at the 1421 cross, and now we are testing that support again. Let's drop down again, reset our candles. So now we have kind of some confusion, but let's start at the top. This is not definitive. It's come out of oversold conditions and now it's pointing back down, but it is just following what the candles are doing essentially. But this 0.236 Fibonacci level is acting as our support now. Let's see. Yes, nice divergence. Let's use a ray. Point to point, remember? From that point to that point, your stochastic or your oscillator is sloping down. But from the same point on the chart to the same point on the chart, it's slightly sloping up. So you got a little bit of divergence. That's a good bullish sign. That's bullish divergence is drawn on the bottom. Bearish divergence is drawn on the top. Drop down another level. And you can see that on the lower time frame, it becomes much more apparent what's happening. We kind of double bottomed off this level, went up, came back. Interesting. And I see it, and I don't necessarily need to draw it because I see it, but I want you guys to see it, so I'm going to take the time to draw it. I'm going to guess that this is going to be my 7-9 fib level. It may even be the 886 or between the two, right? So let's get that one out of the way. Start down here. Draw a quick fib. Basically turned on a dime at the 7-9 and has been on an upward trajectory since then. And so this is a potential bullish trade for anyone who wants to trade it, but I would suggest that you wait for it to retrace down at least close to the 200 moving average and look for a bullish trade off of that. If I wanted to play that, that's how I would play it. Let's look at Baba. Baba has been one of my faves for a very long time. So we can draw a fib off the weekly here. So we will. Bottom to top, easy peasy. Let's make sure that when we drop down, you still see it. And we're going to just go right to our daily chart. And we're going to do top to bottom TA, double bottom, bearish direction, attempting to come out of oversold conditions. We have definitely got some divergence. The slope from point to point is sharply moving up versus flat here. So that's bullish divergence. This is all telling me this is a good spot, right? And so this is our high to low that our fib is drawn on. We traded back to the 60. We played around between the 60 and the 28. And then we dug really deeply in our retrace to about the 886. We consolidated. We created a nice double bottom. Then we created a higher high. Came back down and tested the next fib level, which is the 7.9. Consolidated between the next two fib levels. And now it's the thing. We've gone to the 0 and traced back sharply. So I'm going to get rid of this. And I'm going to draw a new fib here. And we're probably at the 618. Okay, 7.1. We are at the 7.1, which is also at the 200. To me, this is very, very, very bullish. So I'm not in this trade yet. I traded Baidu instead, but I would imagine that the charts are the same, very similar, if not the same. So let's get away from the daily. Let's drop down to the 4-hour. Very bullish stochastic. Let's make the candles bigger. Let's do this. We're above the 1421, which means they are our new support. They happen to be exactly at our 7.1, and you know that fib levels are support and resistance. So we got strong support at 85.15. Bullish stochastic, hourly chart. We are kind of traded off. Tried to trade into the 200. We didn't make it there. So now we're trying to trade off. But based on the stochastic, the candle conditions, the position of the 200 moving average, I would be looking and waiting for a retrace into these moving averages, and that would put you at about 85 bucks, right? And then I would just trade it with a target of this, which is at 88.68, or you can go to 89.38. And so your strike price would be somewhere between what did I say? 85.86 and 89.38. And so on a shorter term contract, December 20th or January 17th, you want to be as close to at the money as you can. But the further out your contract date goes, your expiration date goes, the further away from the current price your strike price can go. But for me, I would be looking at either a $86 December 20th or perhaps a $90 January 17th, 2025. But let's look at beautiful vein footage. So these are completely bullish. This is flat. Not quite sure what that's going to do, but I already told you that I expected it to retrace. So I expect to retrace into 85.71. Somewhere in here, it'll probably leave a nice wick here. And then, boom, we're going to the 0.618 level. This stuff is really quick. It's taking longer than it takes me because I'm talking you through it. But it's not that hard, guys. So let me just peek at OKL0 because there was a reason. And we won't even do the whole top-down analysis. We'll start with the 4-hour, perhaps. I don't buy above when you're not supposed to buy above the daily. So what I'm saying here is a bearish trade, a potential put. And here's my rationale. Bearish, right? The line conditions are bearish. and they're trying to slope back down and create kind of a double top right there around your 50 to 60 level. They're also on this time frame, is trading below your 1421 moving average. So now, depending on how this candle closes, these are acting as resistance. The 0.236 is resistance. And so my target, just simple, quick target off the top of my head, would be the 0.5 moving average. And because it's already kind of created a double top formation, it may take that out and continue down to the 200 moving average. You have to be agile. Technical analysis is fluid. But let's look at the 4 hour. Same thing. Resistance, 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 bearishness, target, target. I like this as a target now actually because my 200 moving average is there. And so first target, once it gets in between these, barring something crazy, like some tremendous news for this stock, once it gets below a fib level, it's gonna go to the lower fib level. And best case scenario is it will consolidate between the two fib levels. But if it takes that fib level out, if it takes out your 50, then you're working between the 618 and the 50. And so maybe I'm more of a risk taker. Maybe I don't put a lot of thought in it because I'm not jumping into this trade right now. But off the top of my head, my target would be the 618 based on the confluence with my 200 moving average. So anyway, let's look here, see what we got. We'll see when the market opens. Let's look at that. Trying to turn back down, so trying to be bearish. Yeah, so I would probably expect to move to the 5 and the 618, which is really just building momentum and collecting trades to go back to the upside. So Russell says stocks only go up. So one thing that I've been doing is just waiting for my bullish move because stocks do tend to want to go up. The market does tend to want to go up. And so your best and your biggest moves in a bull market are to wait for your retrace and catch a bullish trade. But that was very, very quick, TA. As I said, I will do these more often. And at some point today or either tomorrow, I will do a video that explains for you guys how to use the newsletter. But for now, it is time for me to go create your newsletter. And so I will see you guys in the group later. Happy trading.